trucking.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Busch.
I want to buy a couple ducks.
I'm bringing 2 ducks to the office.
This is Early Break.
After being down by 17, Heartbreak City. Holy mackerel. From the corner, and it's over. Gonzaga, the flipper still fits. They win it, 73-72.
Look at the clock, and when you're sleepless in Seattle, why not get a little kiss? Gus! Oh, nature!
Nicholas, the senior, with 2 seconds. Here it goes for the win. Yes! No, the touchdown. No one on to the second round in a most heroic finish.
Good morning. Happy Thursday to you, Steve Sipple, Bill Busch. Out today, just myself, Jake Sorensen riding solo, but that's okay because it is one of the most magical days of the year. The NCAA tournament round of 64 begins today, and I can hear all you people watching or listening in your cars at home just getting happy hearing the sound of that music. That is the March Madness music. We will hear it all day today at Buffalo Wings Ring, 68-0, and also all day tomorrow as well. Nebraska plays at 5:50. But good morning and welcome to the Madness. You've made it. Way to go, Josh. Josh is here. Keep me company today. You can always call or text 402-464-5685. You can tweet me also at 937 Jake Sorensen. We have a lot to get to today. We'll get some idle chit-chat off the bat here in a second. But, of course, as we get prepared for a couple days of craziness in March Madness, Nebraska was the storyline again here with all sorts of AD and president and extension news we'll get to here in a brief second. But before that, I just want to thank our sponsor of the coverage that we're going out to Memphis for. Myself and Eric Strickland are going out to Memphis this afternoon after we start a couple hours at Buffalo Wings Rings, and then Austin Orman will also be going out to Corvallis to cover the women's tournament out there. The Huskers obviously playing A&M tomorrow night about 9:30, and our coverage of that is sponsored by 1890, the 1890 Initiative. 1890 is Nebraska's NIL collective helping drive the success of Husker football, volleyball, and, of course, Husker basketball. So thanks in advance for making our trip to Memphis and Corvallis possible for myself, Strick, and Austin Orman. Sip is already in Memphis, so we will talk to him tomorrow. We will actually do a show live from Memphis. And for those who are down there and are asking where it's at, I don't know yet. But I will confirm you this: we are going to have a show tomorrow morning from Memphis. We're at different hotels, and actually neither of us is at the team hotel, so we're at separate spots in Memphis. But I promise you that you will hear Early Break tomorrow morning. Myself and Sip. Bill is out tomorrow. He's busy with the speech. Also this morning too. We will be broadcasting somewhere, and I will let you guys know at some point by this evening once I get into Memphis or before that. So if you want to come watch the show, hang out with us, we will let you know where we're at. But as of this moment, figuring it out. But I promise you at some point this evening, we will have that figured out of where Sip and I will be broadcasting Early Break from. Again, 402-464-5685. I know we had a little spat on the show yesterday, as we do every year. Ever since this first four has happened in the tournament, me and Sip have had a little fight about it. And Bill was obviously on Sip's side, which is perfectly fine. Everyone has a take on this. I still stand that these games do count. I just said I fear that Nebraska getting their first ever tournament win would occur in the round of 68, or the first four, excuse me. And they would win the next round. We couldn't even say they got past the round of 64 still. So that's why I bring it up. But last night, there was the final 2 games of the first 4. Grambling comes from behind and beats Montana State 88-81 in overtime. The first ever NCAA tournament win for Grambling. And in the nightcap, Colorado beats Boise State 60-53. So the Buffs are on to play Florida. They'll play tomorrow in that one. But again, Colorado 60-53 over Boise State. And the first game, Grambling against Montana State in the 16 seed play-in. Grambling wins in overtime, 88-81. This is the point where I asked you, did you guys watch those games? I did not. I'll be full transparency here. I was trying to get True TV, the app, downloaded onto my TV, and it said it was installed. I kept trying to find it, couldn't get it pulled up. I uninstalled it. I installed it again, couldn't find it, and so I didn't watch the games last night. Josh, I did try. I tried to watch the games last night, but I was not able to watch them. So I did not track. I did track on my phone Grambling and Montana State. I did track Boise State and Colorado, but I was not able to watch them live. I'm curious, text line, did you watch those games last night? 464-5685. Thunder Not Collins says, nope, didn't even know they were on. Mr. Sparky says, good morning, Jake. Thank you. Good morning to you, Mr. Sparky. Scott, Minnesota is with us also. KC bound from unnamed texture there. Good to have you guys this morning. But again, I am curious if people watch those games, because I was out for a couple hours last night, and and I was with some friends, and the games weren't quite on yet. But they weren't going to watch the games, and it's all about today. The madness when we have these parties at Buffalo Wings Rings is about the madness we have. The doors, by the way, if you're curious about this morning at Buffalo Wings Rings, we will be on the air at 10, and then doors open for the public, you at 10:15. So if you're one of the first 64 people in the building today at Buffalo Wings Ring, 68th and O, you will have a chance to get one of 64 ping pong balls, which if you get those all list a name of a team in the tournament. If that team that you have on the ping pong ball finds its way into the Final Four, you will win prizes like some sweet gift cards from Wings and Rings. We also have some awesome prizes we have here. A Salt Dog Suite is in play, some Salt Dogs tickets beyond that, and some cool ticket prize packs. But again, stop by Buffalo Wings Rings with us today, 68th and 0, and tomorrow also 10 to 6 will be out there. Doors open at 10:15 for you guys both days. So come find a seat, watch madness, drink a lot of beer, eat some great food, and hang out with us as we enjoy those couple sick days off work that happen every day, every couple days in March every year. From the text line, someone says didn't watch it. Someone says I tried to. This is Ryan in California. Said I tried to, but I couldn't figure out which of the million apps it was on. Well, it was on True TV, and I'm told that there's a March Madness app I could have probably watched it on also. I did not know that. That's my fault. So my fault there. Someone else said did not watch. I will watch today now that the dance is starting. Thank you. He gets it. This person gets it. So I appreciate that. Bird in Columbus says, if I draw Creighton, do I pick a new ball? Sadly, you can't. You're stuck with that. And that's honestly, it's going to hurt your pride. It's going to hurt your ego having that Creighton ball. But that team has a chance to make a run. Now, I did not pick them in my bracket to go past the second round because I have standards here I operate by. I have South Carolina beating them. No one cares. But I would say that last night I filled out my bracket, and I hated it. I didn't hate the process. I hated the teams I picked. I had Nebraska in the Elite Eight because I can't pick against them. I wanted the Final Four. I should have picked them in the Final Four, but I did. And so we'll see how it works, but I hated the bracket when I did it. I hate how it is right now because I have UConn winning it all, and that's just not going to happen because it's hard to go back-to-back. So I'm sure I will finish dead last in the ticket bracket pool again. And by the way, one last plug before we move on of plugs here, that if you want to join the ticket bracket challenge, it's on ESPN. If you go to our Twitter page at 937 the ticket, it is the pinned link at the top of that page. So please click on that and get into the ticket March Madness pool. We will have also some prizes from Wings and Rings for that to give out. Also some gift cards from several of our sponsors and some ticket prize packs. So please, that's a free registration, no cost. Get into the ticket bracket challenge from ESPN. It's on our Twitter page at 937 the ticket, tagged at the top. So please get in that before 11 o'clock this morning, or else you will not be able to join us, and that would be very sad for you, for prizes and for Smack Talk, bragging rights. Everyone wants that. So that is our Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by Newton's Lawn Care. Please call or text Andrew at 402-440-6297. And remember 50% off your first fertilizer application. Again, 402-440-6297. 50% off your first fertilizer application this spring with Newton's Lawn Care. Call or text Andrew. 464-5685. Call or text. As always, by the way, thank you. Reminder, yes, Nebraska baseball did play last night. They beat North Dakota State 3-1. How about the Huskers? 15-5 record. 15-5. The Huskers are winning midweek games. They're winning series away from home. They're sweeping teams at home. Will Bolt has a squad. So shout out to Will Bolt. Nice win last night. 15-5 the record. The Huskers look like a team that could do some damage this year. I know it's still early, not even in April yet, but we've seen some years where they've been under 500 when they get to April. So 15-5, that's a huge win. Shout out to Will Bolt. Kudos for a great start so far on his baseball season. So we will get into the actual games next segment because, like last week, what is the deal with Wednesday breaking news in the state before great events? Let's go back to last Wednesday. About 9:30 in the morning, we see a report that Trev Alberts is leaning toward taking the Texas A&M AD job. And that took up our entire day. By about 5 o'clock, it was official last week that Trev Alberts was going to Texas A&M, and we all stood shocked as the Big Ten tournament got underway in Minneapolis, and all these other tournaments kept going on for conference tournaments, and you said, this is the storyline right now. Really, this is taking the story, and we're all stunned by it. Well, let's go back to yesterday. Yesterday morning, about the same time, about 9:30, we get an announcement that Nebraska has a new AD. So we had Dennis LeBlanc for the interim AD position for just a couple days. In that time, they extended Fred Hoiberg to the 28-29 season. Also, Amy Williams, by the way, yesterday gets an extension to the same season, 28-29. She'll be going from $715,000 a year to $950K per year as she gets to her extension to 28-29. But yesterday we find out that Troy Dannon of Washington, who's been there for 1 year, is the new AD for the Huskers. And I do have some sound from Matt Rule and Fred Hoiberg. So Matt Rule was obviously at Pro Day yesterday for the Huskers. But by the way, Dylan Raiola was throwing to receivers at that event. If you saw the video, if you saw footage, that's out there on Sean Callahan's Twitter page. Shout out to Sean, Husker Online. Matt Rule was asked about Troy Dannon yesterday at Pro Day, and here was Matt Rule's response to hearing the hire of Troy Dannon.
I think Troy fits all the criteria, that I think we're all looking for. He's accomplished athletic director. He's been on all the big committees. He's been on the oversight committee. He knows the issues facing college football. He's an unbelievable guy, and it's no slight to the University of Washington, which is a wonderful place, my sister's alma mater, but I just know that he wanted to come home, and he wanted to be here. So, I know the announcement went out. I'm fired up, excited to have him. I think, the University of Nebraska took a step forward today.
All right, Matt Rule has spoken. So you heard Matt Rule say he wanted to come home. Well, Troy Dannon is a native of Marshalltown, Iowa. He was the AD at Northern Iowa from 2008 to 2015, and also at Tulane from 2015 to 2023. And we saw the rise of Tulane football while he was there with Willie Fritz, the great hire. Now he's on to another coaching job, but he did a wonderful job at Tulane, and that helped land Troy Dannon a position at Washington. Let's go back to that for a second. We will get Fred Hoiberg audio in a second from his thoughts on Troy Dannon, but I mentioned that Troy was at Washington. This was at his press conference last year when he was hired at Washington, his third stop for AD. This is not fresh. This is from last year. Here's Troy Dannon, Nebraska's new AD at the time, hired at Washington, his comment on how wanting to be there for quite some time.
First, it starts with where you want to live. I'm at the point in my career, I wasn't going to leave if it wasn't a place that the family wanted to live. I'm not going to move again, God willing, President willing. We've been here 2 whole days now. Actually, we've been here about 26 and a half hours. It's home. It's already home. It's our university. It's our program. It's our city.
So that's your new AD when he went to Washington. Again, you're not going to just bash a place when you get there. You're obviously going to feel like it's home, but he probably had intentions to stay at Washington. But Nebraska's spot opened up, and he's from Marshalltown, Iowa, knows the Midwest well. So as Matt Rule said in his statement, he wanted to come home. Well, guess what? Even though Washington is now a Big Ten program, and he would be playing in this area often with his different teams at his school, he now can be here all time at Nebraska. So he gets a 6-year contract. And by the way, this is before Nebraska officially has a new president. But later on in the morning, we learned that Jeff Gold of UNMC is the primary target, and they will vet him for 30 days before they make that official that he is the new president. So it appears he will be that guy. But still, this was done essentially before you had a president in place. So I would say, again, the timing on all this is interesting. I'm sure Sip and Bill have their own thoughts on that. I'm sure listeners do as well. But it still is peculiar, in my opinion, that you had the AD named before you had the president in place. And so if you disagree and say this is perfectly fine, 402-464-5685, call or text. I'm not saying I'm mad at this at all or disagree. I just said it's peculiar that he's hired before the president was actually even put in place. But with that being said, I like the resume of Troy Dannon. I do. And I know people say he's a football guy, and okay, that's why Nebraska, before he got here, gave extensions to the basketball teams, Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams, and the hope there is that those coaches keep doing well, and if Troy really is just a football guy, doesn't want to make basketball hires, he shouldn't have to. If they keep winning, we won't have to worry about this. And if they leave or if they start struggling, then I'm believing that he has enough people or knows enough people that he can make a good hire if that comes to that. But that is why at this point, if he's purely focused on football, well, you got Matt Rule entering his second year. You've got extensions now for Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams. And so basketball should not be anything of a pressing concern of making something happen because they seem to be in pretty good places. Speaking of basketball, Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska got to Memphis yesterday early afternoon. They were greeted by media when they got there, and Fred Hoiberg had a couple of thoughts on Troy Dannon. Here was he was at the hotel getting interviewed by a variety of local reporters here from Lincoln, and here was his opening thought on Troy Dannon and the hire for the Huskers.
I'm really excited about Troy. I know Troy a little bit from my time at Iowa State, actually going all the way back to high school. He used to ref some of my games, so excited to have him on board. I know what he's all about, and that's winning. And he's got a lot of experience at this level, and we're certainly excited to have him on board.
Okay, one more from Fred. He also said he was glad to have the AD hired through the right process, even though it was just a week. Fred Hoiberg on the process.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think the biggest thing is just waiting to find the right guy, and certainly sounds like that's the case right now. And again, the experience that Troy has had all across the board, and knowing a lot of people at Northern Iowa that speak very highly of him, and just excited to see him. Sounds like he's going to be down here in a couple of days. I texted with him a little bit today when we landed, and just excited to get going with him and hopefully continue to build something special. I don't have the audio of this, but Fred Hoiberg also mentioned that Troy Dannon had reffed some of his basketball games back in the day. So think about this. Chris Kaborik, the interim president, refs basketball still right now, and the new AD, Troy Dannon, has reffed basketball of Fred Hoiberg back in the day. So how about that? Interesting storylines there with Troy Dannon. But here was a quote in a statement from Troy Dannon, the new Husker AD. It says, quote, "Joining the Nebraska family is truly an honor. My family and I are humbled by the opportunity to be part of such a proud athletics program, institution, community, and state. Growing up in Iowa, I watched a lot of Nebraska football on Saturdays with my family. I've spent a lot of time in the state, and I found that we share a similar approach to life, work, and sports. Work hard, stay humble, compete, and expect to win." He goes on to say this: "There's a storied tradition at Nebraska, but more work to be done. I truly believe our best years are ahead of us. I couldn't be more grateful to interim president Chris Kaborik for this opportunity. Chris has championed an inspiring vision for excellence across the University of Nebraska, and he and I are completely aligned on where Nebraska needs to go in the future. I look forward to doing my part to helping Nebraska win championships across the board, graduate our student athletes, and elevate the world-class reputation of the University of Nebraska. I can't wait to arrive in Nebraska and get to work." That is the quote, the statement from new Husker AD Troy Dannon. So if you are one that is a little bit, if you are still someone that's pessimistic, which
you can't. You have earned that right as a Husker fan to be pessimistic about things. It's, we haven't had a ton of great things go well here besides Nebraska volleyball every year. And shout out to John Cook and the squad. But when he says he's aligned with Chris Kabork, reminder, Chris is the interim president. It was announced a half hour later that Jeff Gold is likely the new president in place after a 30-day vetting process. So even though Troy is aligned with Chris, who will be probably still involved, obviously, at Nebraska in a high capacity, he won't be the president. So we'll see if Jeff Gold and Troy Dannon and Chris Kabork are all on the same page. But I can see right now people saying, yep, that was my thought of high on Kabork, but what about the new guy coming in? That was always the question. And that's when Trev Albert says there's a leadership question at Nebraska when he keeps asking why he left and what led him to A&M, saying he loved the Huskers, will always be a Husker. But there are some other things that were pressing, and leadership was one of those things. And we'll see if that comes to fruition, if that's truly a problem with these the new people at the helm. But once again, a massive day. Troy Dannon, the Huskers' new AD coming from Washington, was actually there for just not even a full year, 5-6 months at Washington. Played to the audio of his excerpt there for when he went there and wanted to be there for a long time. Now he's at the Huskers. Also, Amy Williams, again, a contract extension through the 2028-29 season, going from $715,000 to $950,000 per year. And then again, Jeff Gold, again, not officially the new president, but he's been appointed as the favorite, and they have a 30-day vetting process to see if that is going to be the guy for the Huskers. 464-5685, call or text as always. So let's get some response to your thoughts on Troy Dannon, Nebraska's new AD. From Iowa Husker Tom, he says, Troy Dannon is a good hire. Given the timing with other hires, president, etc., I think we can see the influence of Coach Rule, which is good. Yes, that is correct. I think that this has Matt Rule kind of labor all over. He did say in part of his conversation with the press at Pro Day that he was obviously familiar with Troy Dannon from back in the day. So they knew each other beforehand. So if Matt Rule is in on him and the other coaches are extended and they're taken care of for several years, then I think that makes Nebraska fans happy. Am I wrong on that? I feel like that's what you want, is a happy Matt Rule. As people kept saying, well, if he doesn't get the right AD, Rule's probably gone, but maybe this helps him stick around. From the text line, 464-5685, texter says, I'm sure the new president, being from the Med Center, would like any AD they recommend. Well, yeah, if he's going, I mean, the fear is with Jeff Gold, the new president, if he is the guy after 30 days of vetting, if he's the guy, he doesn't really have a sports background. He's, again, medical, UNMC. So if the AD just, I think everyone wants alignment. They want alignment from all parts, the chancellor, the president, the AD. Well, if the sports, we've said this so many times in the show, so many times, that you don't really want to know the AD's name in a program. It's good if you are watching sports for Kansas State or watching them for programs that are pretty good across the board. You don't really need to know the AD's name because things are going well. And that's kind of the job of the AD, is to stay in the background, come out when he need to make a statement, but just make sure things are operating smoothly. The story is not about you. It's not about the AD. It's about the programs that the AD watches over. And if those programs are doing well, like Nebraska basketball is right now, like the women's basketball team is, like volleyball is, like baseball is at 15-5, like football's trending upward, then that's a pretty easy job for the AD to not have to come in and make a bunch of hires, make a bunch of moves. So that's a very good thing, I think, for the Huskers. From the text line, on that note, someone says, Troy has to be loving that both basketball coaches are doing well and contracts are extended before he got there. So that is off his plate. And if it was a bad move to extend them, it doesn't come back on him, as it was not his decision. It's a good take. I mean, now these extensions of Hoiberg and Amy Williams were essentially, in a short time, the doing of Dennis LeBlanc and Chris Kabork. And I think I speak for the people on this, that no one's really critical of those extensions. They're both in the dance. They're both trending upwards. We know that Nebraska women's basketball has Britt Prince coming in. They have Markowski back next year. They've got Natalie Potts, the freshman, still on the team. They've got Nissen on the team also. I mean, they've got so many positive things going. And also with the men's team. You lose a couple guys, but you have the majority of that team back. So who's pushing back right now on extensions for Hoiberg and Williams? That just seems like that was a no-brainer. And, yeah, it helps the new AD coming in saying that I don't have to worry about those programs. They're doing fine. So, again, I think that even though the optics of Trev Albert's timing of his leaving are still very odd, if you're looking at this place from a long ways away, the 50,000-foot perspective, you're thinking that this place is on pretty good ground. It hasn't felt that way maybe all the time in previous years, but right now, with the actual programs themselves, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like we're on pretty solid ground all the way across. 464-5685, someone says, regarding Amy, so what's the word on the lawsuit now? Are they thinking it'll blow over if Amy is getting extended? Listen, lawsuits come and go in terms of when they get in the news cycle. As of right now, it probably feels like they're trying to push this out of the news cycle, as you would like to do for a lawsuit. But listen, if you're extending a coach and giving her a raise, then that feels like you're going to try to push that away and make it, and you're not overly concerned about where that's going. Now, that can change any given note, any given time. Who knows what happens with that lawsuit? But to me, it screams that Nebraska feels comfortable about where they're at regarding that, and that they will, they can overcome whatever happens, and that Amy can stay in her position. But that is something that we will see play out. From the text line, someone says, "Can you really trust a?" This is Jake and Burr, by the way. Can you really trust a guy that left a job after 5 months and expect him to be here for the long haul? Fair question. But again, I'll play this with Matt Rule. Let's listen to Matt Rule again about Troy Dannon. Here is what I played from Pro Day. Here's Matt Rule again on that.
I think Troy fits all the criteria, that I think we're all looking for. He's accomplished athletic director. He's been on all the big committees. He's been on the oversight committee. He knows the issues facing college football. He's an unbelievable guy, and it's no slight to the University of Washington, which is a wonderful place, my sister's alma mater, but I just know that he wanted to come home, and he wanted to be here. So, I know the announcement went out. I'm fired up, excited to have him. I think, the University of Nebraska took a step forward today.
Again, I just know he wanted to be home. He's from Iowa. I know that bothers people because Trev Albert's also from Iowa, and it's Iowa. We hate Iowa. But it's the Midwest. I believe Matt Rule, who knows Troy Dannon, when he says he wanted to come back. Again, he spent 7 years at Northern Iowa as the AD. Goes to Tulane, has success, goes to Washington for a short time. In that short time, hires Jed Fish, gets him away from Arizona, who had a great year this past year, and that was a pretty positive hire. And I'm sorry if you criticize him for losing Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. No one's turning down Alabama if they get an offer. So he in his 5 months, he was able to watch Washington play in a national title. He didn't make that roster. He didn't hire that coach. I understand that. But I think that the optics of them hiring Jed Fish was pretty impressive. Losing a guy that just got you to the national championship game in Kalen DeBoer. Jed Fish coming over from a very great year in Arizona. By the way, they're going to the Big 12. They're going to a good conference. That was a great hire. So I feel like, again, when he says that he wants to be home, I'm believing Matt Rule on that he wanted to be back to his roots in the Midwest. From the text line, someone said at 464-5685, Bourbon Hunter says he was at his previous 2 jobs for 15 years, between them. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, he was 7 years at Northern Iowa, 8 years at Tulane. He didn't leave after 1 or 2 years for those places. And by the way, yeah, if Tulane is where you're at and Washington comes calling, you take that call. That's a Power 5 conference. It's the Big Ten, the new Big Ten of Washington. A no-brainer for Troy. But when this job opens up in the Midwest, that is a place that, again, is doing well on sturdy ground with the actual programs themselves. Yes, it feels like a no-brainer. And by the way, think about this for 1 second, Husker fans. We were just, pissed about Nebraska looking like for one of our own alumni in Trev Alberts to leave the Huskers. And Nebraska fans, it felt like he viewed Nebraska as a stepping stone job, which is so hurtful for a guy was an All-American here. That was a high draft pick. That obviously was the AD here. It's a gut punch to have your AD potentially view you as a stepping stone. Well, if you were depressed about that, it's got to feel pretty good to have Washington now feel like a stepping stone job to Nebraska. This guy's not going from Tulane to Nebraska where you can say, is he ready for big time? He's going from Washington to Nebraska. I'm sure Husky fans are saying, this is not great. Are we really a stepping stone job? We were just in the national championship in football. So I hope that if your ego was hurt about the Huskers and losing Trev Alberts last week, a Husker great, a Husker legend here, that maybe the fact that you're getting an AD from a Power 5 Big Ten school to come here feels pretty good. Maybe boost that ego back up to, hey, this is not a stepping stone job. So once again, Troy Dannon, the new AD for the Huskers, 6-year contract. Jeff Gold looks like he'll be the new president after a 30-day vetting process. And then also, again, the news from yesterday too, we mentioned this, but Amy Williams, a contract extension to the 28-29 season, going from $715K a year to $950K. And the Lady Huskers will play tomorrow night, 9:30 in Corvallis, Oregon, against Texas A&M in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Before we get to break, quick plug for our friends at Lincoln Industries. Are you looking for a job that feels like family? Join the team at Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become part of something special at Lincoln Industries. When we come back, let's look at the bracket. We've not done that yet. I'll give you my favorite games of today, give you a little schedule of what to expect today, but a glance at the first day of the beautiful March Madness is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring is on its way. Are you prepared to keep the grass greener on your side? Blades Lawn and Landscape has a position opened at a homeowner association to their client list, with residential and commercial openings also. Transform your yard into a private oasis with the professional services offered by Blades Lawn and Landscape, including landscape walls and beds and a 5-step fertilizer program applied by a licensed professional. Call them today at 402-730-6320 or go to bladeslcc.com to schedule a free estimate on commercial or residential lawn services.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Furious Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Furious Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at MidwestBank.com. Member FDIC.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few flurries possible this morning. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy today with an afternoon high around 56. Tonight, a chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with the low around 39. And tomorrow, decreasing clouds. It'll be breezy too. The high around 52. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cluck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We will get to the tournament in a second. Before that, Beck's Hybrids sponsors our second segment daily. Beck's Hybrids is the largest independent family-owned seed company in the USA, founded in 1937. Beck's Hybrids provides unrivaled customer service and product diversity for both corn and soybeans, a company founded on faith, family, and farming. To find your nearest Beck's Hybrids representative, head over to beckshybrids.com. Also on the text line before we get to the tournament today, I saw a couple texts, and I'm not going to push back on this because I agree. YouTube. I saw the YouTube chat. Shout out to Kathy. He says, that Dennis LeBlanc would have been a good AD permanently. I agree. And Bill has said on the air why he believes that also. And he got 4 or 5 days. So it's unfortunate that was all. And in that time frame, he got extensions done. He acted knowing this is probably going to be a quick search, but I want to get this done before the new AD comes in. And like I said, how is anybody out there pushing back on the new AD entering a place that just had, in the absence of Trev Alberts, extensions made for both the men's and women's basketball program? I haven't heard any pushback. Now, I know Fred's first 3 years were horrible at Nebraska. Last year, 500. This year, tournament team trending the right direction. Amy's been pretty solid now her whole time here. Been almost always in that tournament conversation or in the tournament. So I don't hear, besides the lawsuit, that's the biggest thing against Amy. But Dennis LeBlanc, going back to that, I think probably could have been a permanent AD. I've everything I hear from Dennis in my one brief encounter with him, I didn't talk about AD stuff at all, but based on everyone he talked to, for how long he's been here, he could have been a great AD. But Nebraska wanted someone that has done it for a long time, has been at has been an actual AD for a long time, and that is Troy Danny. He's been an AD for 16 years. So just want to make sure I put that out there. Okay, today, NCAA tournament. I already played the montage. I'll do it again at 7 a.m. also. But if you want the schedule, the very first game of today, and by the way, once again, reminder, please, if you're able to and can get off work or you have the day off, I hope you're making plans to join us today and tomorrow at Buffalo Wings or Rings at 68th and 0. Please. 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. we're on the air. Start 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. we're on the air. Doors open at 10:15. There will be a line. I promise you there's going to be a line for ping pong balls. So if you're thinking like 11 o'clock I'm coming, you might not get a ping pong ball. I'm just warning you. 10:15, 10:30, you got a good chance of getting a ping pong ball. But please stop on by, get a seat, watch some ball, because the first game today is at 11:15. 8-9 game, Mississippi State against Michigan State. Wouldn't it be something if Tom Izzo was the first coach eliminated of the tournament? I like Tom Izzo. I know Sip has different thoughts on Izzo. I like Tom. He is a complainer, but he's also been around for a long time. So the second game, 11:40, BYU against Duquesne, a popular 6-11 upset, and I picked that one in my bracket. I told you, though, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'll admit it because I have nothing to hide. In last year's ticket bracket, by the way, once again, please, the tickets Twitter page or Facebook page, go to the tickets bracket pool. It's ESPN. Get in there before 11 o'clock today for great prizes. There's no cost. Just do it. Just do it. No cost. I promise you it's worth it. Last year, of like 350 people, I was like 340th in the bracket. I was almost dead last in the bracket. So I picked Nebraska to the Elite Eight. So if I'm bad luck, you can blame me. But I also go with my heart on a lot of things. And my head and heart are on the same page that Nebraska's going to make a run. And we'll get to that more tomorrow when I'm with Sip in Memphis. But Duquesne's one of my upsets. Creighton, if you are a anti-J like I am, Creighton plays Akron in the 3-14 game. It's at 12:30 on TNT. Again, watch it at Wings Rings with us. And I don't think they're going to lose that one. I mean, you see 14 seeds occasionally beat 3 seeds, and Creighton did lose their last game. They lost to Providence in the Big East tournament. But I think that I think Creighton should win that game and move on. And a lot of people are saying that Creighton will escape that region and go to the Final Four. I'm just going to say this. Now, if they win, they got to win their first game first. Don't sleep on South Carolina. South Carolina, the 6th seed in that Midwest bracket. They'll play Oregon, who is a hot team, having just won the Pac-12 tournament to get into the dance. If South Carolina wins that game, I'm telling you, I'm picking them to beat Creighton the next round. But the better storyline is Creighton versus Oregon to see Dana Altman versus former team. So I don't care about the storyline. I want the better team to win. I think South Carolina is a team that could make some damage in that bracket. But again, don't trust me. I finished almost dead last year in the bracket pool. So the other games today of note, Arizona, Long Beach State. So wouldn't it be something? And I wish I had cut up this audio this morning, but I saw that Dan Munson, the head coach of Long Beach State, was talking about his situation at Long Beach State. Again, going back to the story, he was informed he was going to be fired last Monday, but allowed to coach in the Big West tournament. They go on to win the Big West tournament. And he was asked about this week what his goals are. He's like, listen, I feel like a Seinfeld character. They fired me, but they can't find me. So that guy is a very easy person to root for. And don't forget, last year, Arizona was a 2 seed and lost to 15 seed Princeton. Can a 15 seed beat Arizona twice in a row? Don't count on it, but that's why they play the games. North Carolina against Wagner at 1:45. Illinois against Morehead State at 2:10 p.m. This is a trendy upset pick. I'm not buying it. I know Illinois probably won't make it a long run because they don't play defense. I'm not buying the Morehead State upset pick. Take the Illini, 2:10 True TV. I mentioned South Carolina. They're playing Oregon at 3 p.m. on TNT. Should be a great game. Give me the Gamecocks. 7 seed Dayton against Nevada at 3:30 on TBS. Texas against Colorado State, who, of course, beat Virginia by 25 2 nights ago to get into the field of 64, and that's at 5:50. Kentucky against Oakland at 6:10. Gonzaga against McNeese. Trendy upset pick for Will Wade, the former LSU coach at McNeese. I like the upset. Give me McNeese in that one against Gonzaga and Mark Few. Iowa State against South Dakota State at 6:35. Tennessee against St. Peter's, looking for some more magic after they beat Kentucky a couple years ago in the dance. It's at 8:20. And then 3 more. Texas Tech against NC State at 8:40. Kansas, another very, very, very popular upset pick because they don't have Kevin McCullough. And I think, I'm not sure the status of Hunter Dickinson for that game, the big man. 8:55 on TBS. A lot of people. See, here's the thing on this game real quick. I picked Samford, but I feel bad about it because when everybody thinks an upset is going to happen because because the higher seed is playing bad basketball, they're injured, the higher seed always wins. Like Kansas, I bet if you check the brackets, there's usually 4-13 games are obviously very heavy voting for Kansas. This is probably going to be more like a 60-40 Kansas against Samford because of the situation there. But I'm telling you, even though I picked Samford, I think Kansas will pull it off because Bill Self's a great coach, and he knows that everyone is not trusting them to win. So Kansas, 8:55. The last game, of course, in Omaha, Washington State against Drake, the 7-10 game, 9:05 on True TV. So I'm expecting big crowds in Omaha. It sounds like it's been a tough ticket to get, even though there's no Creighton in Nebraska in that bracket. Obviously, Creighton was not allowed to. It's in their home city, so they're not allowed to be there. But there's your rundown. Please join us today at Buffalo Wings and Rings for March Mayhem, and also tomorrow, 10 to 6. Doors open at 10:15. Looking forward to the madness, and hopefully it's not chalk. I know I don't care if your bracket's chalk. You don't want chalk. You want upsets. The madness is great when Cinderellas are dancing deep, and you just know you know what to expect. I mean, last year we had a 16 seed and a 15 seed win in the first round. Who predicts that? No one picked FDU to win, or Princeton to beat Arizona, and Princeton made the Sweet 16. That's why it's a beautiful, 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 uncomparable tournament, and they should never change it, by the way, from 68. Go back to 64. Never go to 96. Stop that conversation. When we come back, time for Rick Heyman's Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day on Early Break in the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Empower a child today with a Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through March 26th is spend $25 and receive a free 10-ounce New York strip. Limit 4 per visit. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations on 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Move over, Jake. I'm moving. Jeez. Thursdays are reserved for a man with a wider range of music knowledge than Jake could ever dream of.
This is the golden era. You would hear this on any radio station. You know, it wasn't like it is now. You know, you got country, you got R&B, you got pop, you got rap, you got rock. They didn't have that then. You heard everything.
A man who knows a good song when he hears it, just as much as a good diamond when he sees it.
You get a diamond! Yes, I do get a diamond. I get a diamond, and that makes me happy.
It's time for Rick Heyman's Song of the Day, sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket.
Once again, your song of the day, The Joker by Steve Miller Band from 1973, 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. At this point, usually I have Sip and Bill talk about the song and ask their thoughts. I have received a text right now. Bill Busch is listening. Hello, Bill. Thanks for chiming in. Bill says the song, Rick, listeners, is a 9.9. 9.9 from Bill Busch on that one. I'm going to guess Sip would go probably in an 8.2, if I could speak for Sip. But Bill, a 9.9. I'm going to give Sip like an 8.2. I got to guess Josh's rating before I get to Rick. And I'm going to guess, Josh, that you were about a 8.6 on that one. 8.2 for Josh. 8.2. Before we get to Rick, a couple ratings from the text line. On that one, we've got 7.8 from Notorious B.I.B. We have Guilt Nerd, 9.6436. Scott in Minnesota says that's a 10 for the Joker. We've got Mike in Dalton says 9.5. John in Southeast Lincoln at 8.5. Sean in Omaha, 9.999. Ryan in California, 9.1. Hubby, 6.8. Jennifer, just a 5.9. Very low for her on that one. Nate in Dorchester, a 10. Tom Petty Sucks, a 10. Ellis in Illinois, 8.2. And Pecan Pie, 8.10. I will give it before we get to Rick. Rick, my score will be a 7.6. Good song, not my favorite of Steve Miller. I like it. But on that note, we are joined now by Rick Heyman of Sauter Heyman Jewelers. Rick, good morning. Just me today, but again, Bill gave it a 9.9, 7.6 for me. I'm giving Sip an 8.2 on it. So good song.
Nice. Yeah, and we miss those guys. Hope they have a great trip, and you as well, Jake.
Thank you.
You're going down south. That's awesome. Hey, I want to welcome all the men that are getting their vasectomies yesterday today.
Yes, good call.
Number 1 week of the year for men getting vasectomies.
It's true. He's right.
And I was just talking to Josh on the line there, and I went and saw Toto Sunday night in Scottsdale. That was amazing. And they're coming to Omaha next month. They're opening for Journey. They're playing 9 songs, and I highly recommend it. We saw them by themselves at the Talking Stick, and they played 17 songs. But what a band!
Are you going to Omaha for that, Rick?
No,
Okay.
no. I don't care for the new Journey with the dude from the Philippines.
Gotcha.
I mean, they sound great. I've seen them, but I saw them with Steve Perry, and it'll never be the same.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, a guy my age, here's my lyrics. I'm a crapper, I'm a napper, and I'm a midnight snacker.
Okay, I like that.
You know, and Steve Miller is like 78 years old, so I think he can relate to that. 1973, 51 years ago, he borrowed the hit song Lovey Dovey, which shares the lyrics. You're the cutest thing I ever did see. I love your peaches, want to shake your tree. Lovey Dovey, lovey dovey. That was a 1954 song by Ahmet Ergen and Eddie Curtis, and a band called the Clovers. This is one of 2 Steve Miller Band songs that feature the nonce word pompatus. The pompatus of love. That is a pretend word. It does not exist. He also had it in the song Space Cowboy. It's actually a word that was from a different song called Puppetoots, meaning a paper doll erotic fantasy figure. Pretty funny. Speak of the pompatus of love. I remember that when it first came out. That's how old I am. It was like, what the heck is a pompatus of love? Well, it's a fake word. Okay. Steve Miller Band. They changed radically with this album. So this is their God, what is it, their 7th album or something. It's crazy, 1973. The Joker became a #1 single, certified platinum, over 1 million sales, awarded a gold disc by the RIAA on January 11th, 1974. Before this time, Steve Miller Band was sort of a hippy-dippy, acid trip kind of a band. They had some the music was a lot more freestyle. This is where it became more straightforward rock and roll. And that was the key to success. 3 years after this, they returned with the album Fly Like an Eagle. Nobody's ever heard that song about 8,000 times. It was #3. Take the Money and Run. Everybody's heard that song.
Good song.
The #1 record they ever had was Rockin' Me. Keep on a Rockin' Me, Baby. Jet Airliner, big old Jet Airliner, Jungle Love, Swing Town. Unbelievable. Rockin' Me knocked Chicago's If You Leave Me Now out of the #1 spot in 1976. So Steve Miller, an amazing cat, still playing. My daughter went and saw him at Pinewood last summer, and I guess they're pretty good. I heard they're still doing it. So with that in mind, we've got a very small crowd here today.
Yes.
I don't know how you want to do this, Jake.
He's just going to stump the Jake.
Stump the Jaker. Okay. Is Steve Miller from Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, or San Francisco, California?
Let's go with San Francisco.
You get a diamond.
All right. I can't go diamondless today. It's good. We'll see how the rest of these go. 1 for 1.
Yep, hippy dippy. Okay, and in the Steve Miller Band, which is obviously still current, are there more or less than 30 current or former members?
Let's go with more.
You get 2 diamonds.
34. 2 for 2. Here we go.
And the big question for everyone out there, and everybody in the studio, which is you,
okay,
is Steve Miller in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I would have to say 100% yes.
3 diamonds, 2016. He was admitted. Now listen to this.
Okay.
Steve Miller is out there jamming around, playing at Pinewood Bowl, and they opened up for Journey for many, many years. They played a backup band. Journey is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Steve Miller is.
That's weird. Okay, that's a good fact, but that's terrible. That's a come on, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, get it figured out.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Figured out.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, Rick, what's going on right now at Sutter Heyman Jewelers?
Hey, this weekend in Grand Island is our replay of the Wedding Band Expo. Thank you for everyone that came out last weekend in South Point. It was incredible. We had an incredible 3 days. It's 3 days right now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in our Grand Island location. Don't forget about the outlet store, which is on 12th and O, 1 block from the new station. So come down, visit Jake and those guys over there at the mill.
We're friendly.
And the radio station. Get your coffee or your drink, whatever you want. Come on over to Sutter Heyman, the outlet. You're going to find something in there that she's going to want or you're going to want, because there are savings up to 70% off every single day. Now, don't forget, breakers get additional 10% off by mentioning the show. We also carry Heartland diamonds, which are the most beautiful diamond in the world. Hearts on Fire diamonds, which are the most perfectly cut diamonds in the world. We've been the best of for more than 30 years. We're 120 years old, but we're fresh as a daisy. Come on in, SauterHeyman.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. My daughter and Katie are doing tons of videos now on Instagram and Facebook, and they're excellent. You'll get a new video almost every day. Check us out. Check me out, rather, at Rick Heyman on Facebook, and I'll post more interesting factoids about the great Steve Miller Band and a ton of their hits.
Rick, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We'll chat with you again next week.
Bye-bye. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. That's Rick Heyman's Song of the Day again today at The Joker by Steve Miller Band. Got a 9.9 from our very own Bill Busch. That is a very high score. There's good ratings all around for that one. So thanks to Rick for the Song of the Day against Sauter Heyman Jewelers. We appreciate them sponsoring that, our video stream, and, of course, our text line. Top of the hour is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather and no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for the Masters in April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Wake up, Lincoln.
I overslept. Damn rooster didn't crow.
It's time for Early Break, sponsored by Midwest Bank. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
I'm wrong, but I'm not.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
If I were a feral cat.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Busch.
You get one team. Mine's the Houston Oilers.
So-
I'm not the Texans, and I'm not the Titans. So I'm out.
This is Early Break.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Thursday. Steve Sipple and Bill Busch out today. Sip is in Memphis. Bill has a speech today. I am Jake Sorensen riding solo. Hour 2 sponsored by our friends at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC location in Lincoln at 27th and Jamie Lane. New location opened up end of February at 70th and Pioneers. I'm told with Steve Schindler is with us in studio, by the way, as always. I'm told that, listen, if you go to Creighton today, as you expect, we have our party at Buffalo Wings or Rings. It's going to be madness. There's going to be mayhem with all the people there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, to no one's surprise, if you go to Creighton, Nebraska today, Midwest Bank, what do you think is going to be there? That's right. 25 TVs. 25 TVs all throughout the bank. You will not be able to miss a second of basketball. Yes, you can still bank as always. You can get loans. You can do your normal banking. But if you want to enjoy great food in Creighton and a great spread of food, they'll have proper beverages for this. Not going to, 21 plus will take care of you. If you're below 21, pop, tea, water, Powerade, Gatorade. But it's a watch party in Creighton, Nebraska today. So go to Midwest Bank. Steve Schindler is the one who'll make sure all the TVs are properly on. That if one gets crazy, the volume goes up for that one. The other ones come down, and we focus on that game. But Steve Schindler is having an NCAA tournament watch party, March Madness at Midwest Bank in Creighton. Please enjoy that. And if you're in Lincoln, reminder, stop by today at Buffalo Wings or Ring, 68th and O. Doors open at 10:15. We will start on the air at 10. We'll go from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reminder, the first 64 people through the door will get a ping pong ball with a team name on it. If that team on your ping pong ball makes it to the Final Four, you will win great prizes like some gift cards from Buffalo Wings or Rings. We've got some great ticket prize packs, also some Salt Dogs tickets. Also, we've got some great stuff from Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, Powerade. You want to miss that? We've got some, and I believe we have a massive, for the winner, a massive Bud Light folding chair, lawn chair. You can fit like 4 people in it. It's massive. So that's for the ping pong ball winners. So stop by today. Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. And once again, thanks to Midwest Bank, as always, for sponsoring Hour 2 on Early Break. 464-5685. Call or text as always. So we will, we'll play the March Madness music here in a second. But I want to go back to the news of yesterday in Nebraska sports. So, as we mentioned off the bat, Troy Dannon is the new athletic director for the Huskers coming from Washington. 5 months at Washington. Before that, he was at Tulane from 2015 to 2023. Before that, Northern Iowa, 2008 to 2015. He hails from Marshalltown, Iowa, so a Midwest guy. Grew up in Iowa. Said he watched the Huskers a lot when he was growing up in his statement yesterday. So the question I have is this. Last Wednesday, this whole state was understandably so thrown for a surprise loop when Trev Alberts left for A&M. Seemingly out of nowhere. No rumors about that. We mentioned that Sip and Sean Callahan had just talked to him a week ago on video, and maybe a couple subtle shots of unhappiness, but seemed like things were going well. Completely shocked. Bill throws out the name Dennis LeBlanc for interim AD, and guess what? Dennis LeBlanc was named the interim AD, and in that short time frame with interim AD Dennis LeBlanc, the LeBlanc interim president Chris Gaborik, they get extensions for Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams, which happened yesterday with Amy. Fred was a couple days ago, but those were things that happened in the short amount of time of the interim AD tenure for Dennis LeBlanc. So already he did achieve things in his own less than a week on the job. My question for you is this, 464-5685. With the dust starting to settle now on these hires at Nebraska, do we feel confident in a unified mission going forward? I felt like the last couple days before, post Trev Alberts and before Troy Dannon, we were all pretty happy with Dennis LeBlanc as the interim AD, as Chris Gaborik, understanding he was the interim president, but felt like we were kind of unified, and it was a Nebraska thing. Dennis has been in Nebraska for 40 years, deserved to get this chance, and it was a great hire for the Huskers to promote him for that interim gesture. But does Troy Dannon right now and Jeff Gold, who's appearing to be the next president after a 30-day vetting process, do we feel unified? Husker fans, help me out, 402-464-5685. Or were we more unified in the last couple days with Dennis LeBlanc as the interim AD and Chris Gaborik, the interim president? Sandman says, Trev who? Welcome to Nebraska, Troy, GBR. Shane in Lincoln says, sounds like Matt Rule had his hands all over this AD hire. We need to do everything we can to protect Rule, so great hire on this one. Eric says, who cares? Just win games. I go back to what I mentioned in the first hour, is that's the thing. If you don't know an AD's name and your programs are winning at a high level, everything, again, right now, Nebraska, the sports are going pretty well. Knock on wood, we feel pretty confident about the direction of the programs. Let's go back to that. I mean, Nebraska basketball, Fred Hoiberg gets a deserved extension to 28-29 because they made the dance, and there's belief that they can, have continued success next year and beyond. Amy Williams has been a consistent NCAA tournament contender or team. They're a 6 seed this year. They were a 5 seed in the Big Ten, of course, made the finals and nearly beat Iowa in the Big Ten title game. Husker baseball is 15-5. Husker softball is not having the year they wanted. They're playing better now, but of course, Jordy Ball is not playing with injury, so there's belief in a great future for them. Volleyball is obviously at a high level. Football is trending upward. So we're unified on that. There's a lot of happiness going on and positivity about where Nebraska is headed as a program. But like I said, going back to the AD talk, if that's the situation at a program, you don't need to hear the AD. Let them sit in the background, monitor stuff they need to monitor, and let the programs succeed themselves. Let these coaches and players be the storylines, not the AD. And so if we never hear from Troy Dannon very often, or very rarely, we'll have his press conference, and then beyond that, lets the coaches do the things and doesn't interrupt, then he's doing his job. Doing his job. Don't need to hear from him all the time. That's my hope for him. From the text line, someone says this, Jake, I'm extremely excited about the hire. Coach Rule said the University of Nebraska got better today. I have no reason not to trust his judgment up to this point. Midwest guy makes me less worried about his comments at Washington. I wouldn't want to live there either. Let's address that again. I'm going to play this audio. I went back yesterday and cut up from the opening press conference from Troy Dannon when he was hired at Washington late in 2023 away from Tulane. This was the comment that Troy Dannon had at that point about his future, what it looks like at Washington. Here's Troy Dannon from his hiring press conference at Washington from last year.
First, it starts with where you want to live. I'm at the point in my career, I wasn't going to leave if it wasn't a place that the family wanted to live. I'm not going to move again, God willing, President willing. We've been here 2 whole days now. Actually, we've been here about 26 and a half hours. It's home. It's already home. It's our university. It's our program. it's our city.
So again, if you want to judge that and say, well, he said that then and he moved. Well, he went to a place where he's from. He's not from Nebraska. He's from Iowa, but it's nearby. It's close to home. He's got family nearby, so that it's understandable. And also, again, if I said to help your ego out, if your ego was hurt when Trev left for A&M, and it felt like this was a stepping stone job, it's got to feel pretty good when a team that was in the college football national championship game, the runners-up, and going down to the Big Ten Conference, it's got to feel good that their AD is coming to Nebraska. So maybe not a stepping stone job. Never viewed it as that, and now it feels like we're more in that note there. But again, we don't really know Troy very well. We heard that we had the opening statement we saw. He'll have a press conference here in the next couple of days, to kind of to announce himself here and talk about the next steps at Nebraska for him. Excuse me, but I still feel like that people are unified. Now, again, like I mentioned, Dennis LeBlanc is someone that had a lot of people that were behind him promoting that, and I thought he was a great choice. As Bill had promoted that he was the right choice, and he was the choice. The YouTube commenters have said that they liked the choice of Dennis LeBlanc, and again, in 4 or 5 days, he actually achieved quite a bit of success, quite a bit of doing and getting 2 extensions. That's significant in a short amount of time. And not have the new AD coming in to worry about extensions there. That's well done by Dennis LeBlanc and company, and everybody else involved there. But do you feel like we're unified here? It has this last week where we're taking shots at Benedict Alberts, as the shirts are saying. A lot of people saying that around there. We actually had a shirt brought in, Benedict Alberts, to the station. I think that you'll have less people saying that. Now you have an AD, and if Nebraska wins this weekend or tomorrow, then yes, it'll come back to light and people will have fun with that. But I think there was a fear regarding that this could be a long search for an AD. It was 1 week, and you have a Power 5 Big Ten AD coming your way. It's a big thing for the Huskers to help get their confidence and their pride back here. From the text line, yes, I feel good about the direction. Trev leaving may have provided a needed kick in the pants for people that needed it. I saw that take a little bit yesterday, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Trev's leaving, that provided a kick in the pants for those in Nebraska that needed it. Do people feel that way? Is that a common thought, or is that just a one-off there? I don't know if I feel that way. I felt like Nebraska in general, it was a kick in the pants, I guess, to get moving on the president, and we laughed about the call to action from Jim Pillen last week that resulted now in having a president likely named after a vetting process in Jeff Gold and then AD, and I'm sure Pillen feels great about that and having some power that they got the call to action to work out. But I don't know. Does that feel like it was a kick in the pants for people that needed to? Text line 464-5685. I don't know if I feel that way. Kent says, Dennis was the choice. Troy might be a good guy, but why? 5 months at Washington? Again, let's look at the resume. 2008 to 2015 at Northern Iowa. 2015 to 2023 at Tulane. Hired Willie Fritz. The football program went from a joke to a team that beat USC in the Cotton Bowl. A ranked team. Had a formula there. They made it work. Now Willie Fritz has moved on from Tulane, but and then he that helped me get the job at Washington, and that was a significant job to get, a Power 5 Big Ten conference. So I don't know. The 5 months at Washington does not bother me. He came back to a place that he's from in the Power 5 conference. It's not like you went from, it could be viewed as lateral, but it's lateral to a place that you're more comfortable with versus not knowing the Northwest very well. Yes, the Big Ten's the Big Ten, but he wanted to be back home. Wet Blanket says, Jake, slow the roll. He is not a Power 5 AD. He spent 5 months at Washington. He made an underwhelming hire in football and fired a basketball coach, then bailed before hiring a replacement. Okay, let's pause there. Is Jed Fish an underwhelming hire in football? Let's look at what Washington is. Washington has been obviously a playoff team a couple times now in the last 10 years. Chris Peterson, when he was the head coach, got Washington to be a playoff team. They lost to Alabama, but they were a top 4 team in football. Dropped off with Jimmy Lake for a couple years. They bring in Kalen DeBoer, who had success at Fresno State. He has success at Washington. A great hire by the previous AD. I don't think Jedd Fisch is underwhelming. Who did you want at Washington? Jedd Fisch just did a remarkable job in rebuilding Arizona. You remember Arizona with Rich Rod and with Kevin Sumlin? They weren't very good. Those are impressive names, impressive hires, but Rich Rod had some success. I'm not trying to push back. Rich Rod had some success. Didn't end well for them, but Kevin Sumlin did not. Didn't work well. So what Jedd Fisch did going in there is a relatively unknown coach when he was hired, and made them a team that was pushing for the had playoff aspirations at one point this season. They found Noah Fafita, the great quarterback. I like Jaden Delora too. He was a good quarterback. Jedd Fisch is a good coach. I don't think that's an underwhelming hire. Who are you going to get at Washington? So I push back on that wet blanket. And for the basketball coach, they had to, that needed to happen in terms of the coach was not doing very well. But he's only there for 5 months. He made that push, and yes, it's not a great timeline for that in terms of leaving before a new coach is named. But he's also going to his place that is home. So I don't push back on I don't punish Troy Dannon for leaving Washington after 5 months to come to a place that is closer to home, that's really looks pretty good in general in terms of all the programs, what they're doing. And it feels like, where there's unification, but I think there's some good unity here going on at this point. From the text line, 464-5685, John in Lincoln says this: Jake, to be honest, who from the Midwest would really want to live long-term in Seattle? That place is a dump. That's a take. I'll bet he is glad to be coming back. Have a great day. Hope your bracket doesn't get busted, John in Lincoln. Yeah, I don't want to speak for everybody. People have been to the Northwest from Nebraska, but I do know that if you've spent some time in the Midwest, you're from here, you were an AD at Northern Iowa for 7 years, and you know this area pretty well. If an opportunity came up at a school with good money and good prestige like Nebraska, and they were interested in me, I'd probably listen. And he did listen. He came back. For the text line, Winston says, Troy will be great as long as he is open-minded to the new landscape of college football and shelves the stadium project. This long-term is a positive for Trev, too, if he goes on to commissioner position and Troy works well. Forgive and move on. I'm going to play again the quote from Matt Rule regarding the landscape of college football. This was Matt Rule yesterday. If you missed this in the first hour, I'm playing it again. Matt Rule was at Pro Day for the Huskers yesterday, and of course was asked once he found out that Troy Dannon was going to be the new AD. Here was Rule's response to the hire at Pro Day yesterday.
I think Troy fits all the criteria, that I think we're all looking for. He's accomplished athletic director. He's been on all the big committees. He's been on the oversight committee. He knows the issues facing college football. He's an unbelievable guy, and it's no slight to the University of Washington, which is a wonderful place, my sister's alma mater, but I just know that he wanted to come home, and he wanted to be here. So, I know the announcement went out. I'm fired up, excited to have him. I think, the University of Nebraska took a step forward today.
In that 30-second clip, you heard a guy, Rule, first of all, said, without even being asked about it, said he's well caught up in the current landscape of college football. He wanted to come home. Two things back to back there that should make you feel pretty. That's a pretty powerful clip there from Matt Rule, in a short clip there. And I played it earlier from Fred Hoiberg for basketball. Was also very high on Troy Dannon. So again, at least publicly, it sounds like there's pretty good unity already about this. And in general, Fred Hoiberg, Amy Williams have to be on the same page because they're extended through the same years. Their programs are doing well in basketball, and they know that, hey, if we just keep doing what we're doing, there's no pressure at all from this new AD or administration. So, again, I feel like it was personally, I have no problem with this hire. I think I'm very optimistic that this is going to work well for the Huskers. Mr. Cub on the text line says, Dannon is an upgrade from Trev for sure. GBR. I'm not going to say that. I thought Trev was a fine AD. I know that we're hurting right now about losing a Husker to Texas A&M. again, I'm not going to try to compare and say who is better or not. I'm not smart enough to know which AD has done more or it was better. But I think they're both good ADs. I think Trev's a fine AD. I think Troy Danon's resume says he's a good AD also. So listen to this. I don't think, if anything, I don't think you went down from Trev Alberts. I don't think you're saying that you went from somebody that was way up here and this is a hire that is underwhelming. I don't view it that way. It's a guy that fits what Nebraska was looking for, what they needed, and he has got experience with both Fred Hoiberg and Matt Rule. Now, Hoiberg was not exactly from an administration firm. He was a ref of basketball, and Fred knew him that way, but he's got his number and they text. But he knew Matt Rule from a previous job also. So there's some connection there. From the text line, a couple more before we get to break here. Someone says, I'm sure Dennis LeBlanc is a great guy, but settling for comfortable hires and nice people is not how to succeed in college sports these days. I've seen that take a lot. Listen, Dennis, I don't know Dennis well enough to know if he's pushed for the job in the past. I know that, again, he has a ton of respect from everybody really in administration at Nebraska, including Bill, who's known him for a long time. So I don't know if he's pushed for that AD job before in the past. I cannot speak to that, but I do know he is well liked. But I hear what you're saying in terms of settling, someone that has not really been the AD before compared to Troy Danon, who has at different schools, and he knows how to operate as an AD. I'm sure Dennis does also. He's been around for long. He knows how the AD job works. I was not worried about LeBlanc's ability to be an AD. I would have felt comfortable today if they announced LeBlanc as the permanent AD, because I think he knows what he's doing. But I also think that Troy Danon's a good hire too. And I'm at least I'm optimistic. I feel confident that he is going to do a good job here, or what he should do here. From Tulane Tanner, this is significant because Tulane Tanner went to Tulane, where Troy Danner just came from. A couple texts from Troy. He says this: I went to Tulane and Troy did a really good job there. Tulane sucked badly until he got there. He rallied a lot of people to do something no one thought was possible at a school of 5,000 students. New stadium, great hire at Tulane, a school of 5,000. So that's one person that actually has ties to Tulane that liked the hire, that liked the job that Troy Danner did there. So again, that doesn't mean he's going to have success in Nebraska. I understand that, but it does. That's nice to have somebody on the side that actually has experienced a long period of time with them. 8 years his time at Tulane. From Tater, someone says, Tater says, imagine the pain that Washington fans are feeling right now. We thought Husker Nation had it bad, but man, losing your head coach and then your AD, yikes. Yeah, after a runner-up year in the college football playoff. Kalen DeBoer heads down to Alabama. Jed Fish is hired by Troy Danner to replace him, and now Troy Danner is out. I would say, though, I don't know any Washington fans, but I don't think that they are mad about the Jed Fish hire. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not in enough, and they despise that hire of Jed Fish. But I, as an outsider of the Pac-12, now again Big 12, Big 10, they've separated their ways. I thought that was a very good hire by Washington to get Jed Fish. So if that's what he achieved in his 5 months there and it doesn't work out for Jed Fish long term, then whatever. But I think a lot of us thought that Scott Frost would work out at Nebraska, and that obviously did not work out. But Jed Fish did a great job at Arizona building that place up, and I feel like that Washington should be happy to have him as their head coach. So before we get to break, a quick plug for our friends at Score One Smoke, and owner Chris Nelson knows most of the people he sells products, and he competes against them also. He's got barbecue rubs and sauces for both competitors and backyard grillers alike. Not just competition barbecue, but he also caters in the Holdridge area and beyond. He was just in Kansas recently, too. He gets around all the place. He's looking for people to support the new online store. So do what you do, breakers. We help our advertisers and our breakers out. ScoreOneSmokin.com. That's score and one spelled out O-N-E and smoking without the G. ScoreOneSmokin.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram at ScoreOneSmokin. Support Chris and get some great products as we get closer and closer to grilling season as spring is moving further and further along. Spring game is just over a month away. And today, of course, March Madness begins. We are excited to come down to Buffalo Wings Rings, 10 to 6. Doors open at 10:15 this morning. Get a ping pong ball, drink some beer, watch some basketball, enjoy the next couple days. When we come back, it's Jake's Takes in place of Bill's Thrills on a Thursday on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Homeowners, is your yard in distress? Is your lawn being held hostage by stubborn and unruly weeds? Never fear, lawn lovers. Weedman is here. We'll rescue your lawn and restore its beautiful emerald green glory. The results of our expertly applied program are sure to impress the toughest of critics, your neighbors. Take that, Dale. Vanquish weeds and transform your lawn this year with Weedman Lawn Care. Get 50% off your first application. Go to weedman.com today. Terms and conditions apply. Go to weedman.com today.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather and no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for the Masters in April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in March. Try their pesto cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. For lunch, try the salmon panini with provolone, sesame oil, and tomatoes on a ciabatta roll with bagel chips. Perfect for Lent. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through March 24th, enjoy Lincoln's favorite 8-ounce bacon-wrapped sirloin or 4-ounce fresh salmon portions for $3.99 each. Get ahead for your Easter dinner with Fairway Pit hams, fresh lamb roast, or ribeye roast. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few flurries possible this morning. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy today with an afternoon high around 56. Tonight, a chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with a low around 39. And tomorrow, decreasing clouds to be breezy too, with a high around 52. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This
I'm not on drugs. I'm not drunk.
is Early Break with Zip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you have been trying to watch on Allo today, good news, we are back up and running. So thanks to Josh and Rico for walking through that. But yeah, we are also Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all up as normal. But Allo also is back up as well. So you can watch us statewide on Allo channel 961. We'll get to Jake's Takes, a.k.a. Bill's Thrills, in 1 second. I want to give one more plug again today. Just a huge thank you. As I mentioned that myself and Eric Strickland, the Husker great, NBA great, are heading down to Memphis this afternoon. We're going to fly from 3:50 out of Omaha. We'll get there this evening, and I will do Early Break tomorrow live from Memphis with Steve Sipple, who'll be on location with me. We don't know where it's at yet, so if you're trying to find it, if you're in Memphis, I will put out a tweet or let people know where we're going to be doing the show at tomorrow. Today at some point. By this evening, I'll let you know where we're going to do the show at. But we will be doing the show for sure somewhere in Memphis from 6 to 8. So you can tune in and we'll be live in the city together. And then also Austin Orman is going to be out in Corvallis covering the women's basketball team. They play, of course, A&M tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. But the reason why we're able to go, before we get to Bill's Thrills, Jake's Takes, but the reason we're going is because 1890 helped us cover, and they're sponsoring our coverage. They're the exclusive sponsors of our time in Memphis and Corvallis. And again, 1890 invites you to support NIL initiatives for your Husker student athletes. Head to 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801 to contribute today. Go Big Red. Again, head to 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801 to contribute today. We thanks once again 1890, the 1890 initiative for sponsoring our trip, our coverage, our sponsorship of Nebraska, both in the men's basketball tournament and the Huskers in the women's basketball tournament, and our time to go down there and do some post-game and pre-game videos as well. And one more plug again. Today, I will be out. I intentionally planned the flight this afternoon so I could be at Buffalo Wings and Rings for the first couple hours. It's an absolute blast. Ping pong balls will be there at 10:15 when the doors open. So come on by. The first 64 people will get a ball. Prizes galore. And by the way, if you don't make it there, we're still giving away prizes every hour throughout the day. So from noon to 5 o'clock, every hour, top of the hour, giving away 4 or 5 prizes an hour. We're talking about Buffalo Wings and Rings appetizers, some beer buckets, some pitchers. They got some sweet Samuel Adams jerseys. We got Dr. Pepper swag. We've got Salt Dogs tickets. We've got also ticket prize packs. So it is worth your time to come on down to Buffalo Wings and Rings today, all day, for prizes, beer, basketball, food, and, of course, your favorite sports talk in town. With that being said, let's get to Bill's Thrills, a.k.a. Jake's Takes. When Bill's not here, here we go.
Some call him the most interesting man in the world.
That is setting up the morel mushroom bonanza.
Oh, yeah.
Is it gonna be bonanza? Mushrooms grow better with thunder and lightning.
Others call him Coach. But to everyone else, he's Bill.
I want to get one of those military ab stimulators for us to wear during the show. You see, I sent you today.
It's time for Bill's Thrills on Early Break. Sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid-Plains Advisor.
Yes, Bill's Thrills, Jake's Takes, Sips, Tips, whatever it is any day, is sponsored as always by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid-Plains Advisors, the ATMs, the cash cows of Lincoln. They will help you make some money. Call them at 402-730-7387. Stop by. They're just north of 27th and Old Cheney. They are great people. And again, Mid-Plains Advisors are proud sponsors of Bill's Thrills. Today, with Bill gone, is a cool parenting tip Thursday. I am not a parent yet. I will have my child is due on April 13th. So we look forward to, we're getting closer and closer to the due date for our baby girl. So excitement there, nervousness, obviously, as you all would expect to have been there. You understand where I'm at now, waiting for number one to come and under a month away. But here's what I'm going to do with my kid no matter what. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there feel the same way. I'm sure Bill would feel the same way this morning. But how many times has Bill on Bill's Thrills said, he volunteers a skip day? Volunteers a skip day to go with your parents, your grandparents, go do something fun. Well, it's kind of on that note what I am going to tell you here about a cool parenting tip, which I intend to use with my daughter. And I hope it doesn't take that much work for her to enjoy this. But please, 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 parents, grandparents, remind your kids, your grandkids, of the importance of March Madness, the NCAA tournament. Stay strong with your thoughts on not making the pool, the tournament bigger than 64, 68 teams. But also, these 2 days are the absolute two best days of the sporting calendar year. You could argue the Masters is great to watch on TV. You can argue for the first day of NFL football or the playoffs. But people that don't watch college basketball throughout the year, they watch it today. They watch it all day because it's great. There's so many great storylines. There's upsets. There's tears from players who are wanting to go farther. There's exciting. There's jubilation. There's fans from small schools who are going to be at these games and experience a 16 seed beat a 1 seed, which has happened now twice in the last 6 years. Virginia losing to UMBC and Fairleigh Dickinson beating Purdue last year. Like this is the absolute best 2 days of real life drama that exist in the entire calendar year. If you have a kid that's not a big sports fan and you're trying to get them to give sports a chance, this is when you bring them to the TV. You say, listen, let's watch CBS. Let's watch True TV. Let's watch TNT. I promise. This is great drama. Listen to the commentators. Look at the crowd and seeing St. Peter's and all their fans as they beat Kentucky in the last couple of years and the great storylines. It's the best drama that's not scripted. Please, if somehow you have a kid or a grandkid that just doesn't care, just have them watch for a half hour, an hour. Say, just trust me on this one. You don't have to watch basketball the rest of the year. It's just these 2 days. Please, please, if somehow your kid or grandkid, and again, I'm going to teach my daughter this, the power of March Madness the first couple of days, just say, trust me, and let's watch this together, and you can make memories that will last forever. I mean, I still remember where I was at when I was watching the finals. This is not the first 2 days, but the finals when Villanova had that epic shot to beat Carolina. It was one of the best finishes ever to a title game. I remember where I was at. But I also remember where I was at when UMBC beat Virginia as a 16-1. You don't forget where you're at for these incredible moments. I was in Sioux City, Iowa, watching it with a bunch of people. It was March. It was I think St. Patrick's Day weekend. I think it was the 16th. The 17th was the next day, and it was amazing. Like these are things that you can say. Remember that back in 2024 when Nebraska got their first ever tournament win against Texas A&M. Yes, we watched it together. Please embrace the tournament. Bring your kids, your grandkids. If they don't like March Madness, get them involved and say this is the best drama you'll ever find on TV. From the text line 464-5685. Bird in Columbus says 100. 100. Thank you, Bird in Columbus. Scott in Bancroft says, couldn't agree more, Jake. My 13-year-old son will be home with me tomorrow watching basketball. It's his reward for getting straight A's this year. Way to go, Scott in Bancroft. Kip says, my daughter was born on April 13th and my son on April 12th. All right, we got some things in common there, Kip. Sanderson says, today is my son's skip day. We take the day off and watch basketball. Sanderson, you're a good man, a good dad, so way to go. Joel in Wisconsin says, I must agree. Been filling out brackets with my kids since they were old enough to write, and they're all 3 daughters. Okay, on that note also, a second plug. Yes, have your kids fill out brackets. It's fun. They don't have to watch basketball to fill out a bracket. They can go off the mascots. They can go off of what they want. There's no rules. I said this the other day, but John Rothstein, who is the robot, the man that always tweets out the same thing every day on Twitter. He loves college. He loves college basketball more than anything in life. But he said about March Madness, the more you know about college basketball, the less you know about March Madness. The guys who are the experts typically don't do very well in the brackets because, as I said, there's nothing in the sports world that exists like the NCAA tournament and March Madness the first 2 days. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And so you can always look back at these and say, you know what? My 3-year-old kid picked Fairleigh Dickinson to beat Purdue. I'll always remember that, right? You can have that moment because they don't know. You don't have to know to do well in the brackets. It's the best. From the text side, a couple more before we get to break. McGee says, I filled out our family bracket last night. My 4 and 6-year-olds loved it. Yeah, they're going to be part of something cool. That if mom and dad are doing it, I'm doing it too. That's awesome. What kid wouldn't want to be like mom and dad, fill out a bracket or go watch basketball? Someone says, Jake, my dad held me during the national championship after I was born, April 6, 1992. That's very cool. 1992, April 6th, the college basketball national championship. Someone says, then you get attached to a player like Jimmer Fredette. Yeah, some people probably started watching basketball and BYU had Jimmer Fredette, and they're like, that's my school. I watched basketball back in high school. I kept watching Fredette, and someone might say that's why they like BYU. There's probably some random Davidson fans out there because of Steph Curry and his run through the tournament, to the Elite Eight back in, I think, 2008. I mean, there's some great players. There's probably some random VCU fans out there because they made that run to the Final Four. So that's again, that's my Bills throws. My Jake's take is, please, if you haven't already, teach your kid the importance of March Madness these first 2 days. I intend for my daughter, hopefully as young as possible, to watch a basketball game to help me fill out a bracket and enjoy the process of watching it and see how she does on the way through it. So that is Bill's Throws, Jake's Takes, sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid Plains Advisors, the ATMs, the cash cows of Lincoln. Please call them today at 402-730-7387 to plan a consultation to get your financial future set. Again, Mid Plains Advisors, Dirk, Scott, and Ty, 402-730-7387, just north of 27th and Old Cheney is where you can find them in their office. Reminder again, so we'll be at Wings and Rings. If you didn't know the schedule of games today, the first game today in March, let's give it the music for it. Come on, let's do this. We have to. Before I talk March Madness, I'm going to play the wonderful montage that you all love. Here we go.
Look at the clock, and when you're sleepless in Seattle, why not get a little kiss? Gus! Oh, Major Onions!
Nicholas, the senior, with 2 seconds. Here he goes for the win. No, the touchdown! On to the second round and a most heroic finish.
You will hear that glorious song being played around 11 o'clock on CBS. 11:15, the first game today, Mississippi State against Michigan State. Will Tom Izzo be the first coach eliminated from the tournament this year? We'll see if that is the case. BYU against Duquesne, 11:40. Creighton against Akron at 12:30. Some great games today. Looking forward to some games this evening. Texas Tech, NC State should be fun. Washington State and Drake in Omaha should be a fun one also. Iowa State, South Dakota State. Is there a potential upset? 15-2. I don't think so, but you'll never know there. Kentucky, Oakland's a popular upset pick there, 3-14. South Carolina against Oregon. Will both Oregon and Creighton advance and have Dana Altman versus Greg McDermott? We'll see if that's the case. There's some storylines there. So enjoy the madness all day long. Have your kids watch with you. Jake's Takes, Bill's Thrills. And join us at Buffalo Wings and Rings from 10 to 6. Doors open at 10:15 at 68th and O. We will not have the game show today, but however, Josh, listening, caller 5, because I'm in a good mood, it's March Madness, caller 5 is going to win a business box of bagels. This will not hurt the record for Sip or Bill today. It's just a friendly gesture. I'm in a great mood. So if you would like to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe, you don't have to play a competition today. It's just be caller 5, 402-464-5685. No shut up Sipple today. I'm sorry if you're looking forward to that. Just I'm solo today. Who am I playing against? Myself? We will give you a free business box of bagels for caller 5, and hopefully you bring that to work when you get back on Monday, because you're taking work off today and tomorrow to watch basketball. I know what you're doing out there, listener. The Spillover is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in March. Try their pesto cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. For lunch, try the salmon panini with provolone, sesame oil, and tomatoes on a ciabatta roll with bagel chips. Perfect for Lent. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and air park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone back with the latest update from Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, your new car selection keeps getting better and better every month. Can you tell our listeners all about it?
You know, it sure is, Charlie. It's great that our customers can come in, pick out a new Honda, and drive away with it that day.
How many new Hondas do you have in stock?
Well, right now we have just about 100 in stock.
Hey, I hear you've won some very important awards in your service department. Tell us about them.
Well, the first one is we won the award for the first fixed award. So the cars are actually fixed on the very first time they're brought in. Second award is our Customer Service Experience Award. And then our third award is our Honda Express Service Elite. And we rank the best in quality, in customer satisfaction.
Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
We're on the air.
Back.
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
To more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover. AD with me here. Before that, we'll get to sponsored by Computer Hardware, the Nebraska's Apple Store, the official Apple partner since 1980 in the state. They've got 4 locations in Lincoln, Kearney, Hastings, and Grand Island to fix your phones, watches, computers. Trip is over there at 70th and O in Lincoln, over by Taco Winds. Come go say hi to him. Nebraska's Apple Store, Computer Hardware. AD, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, my man. Good to see you, brother.
It's day one. I mean, I know there was Tuesday, Wednesday were the first 4 of March Madness, but this is the official start of the round of 64. And just try to bring me down today, AD. You can't do it. You won't do it.
I couldn't say anything about the Dolphins to make you mad.
I don't care. Oh, the Dolphins come. This guy don't care. March Madness, man.
Oh,
and Nebraska's a part of it too.
Two are retired. Oh, no problem.
Yeah, March Madness. I'll talk about that next week. You know?
No, it is the greatest time of the sports year, man. First few days, for sure.
This is great. And again, just one last reminder, please join us today at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Me and Nick are going to set up after I'm off the show. We're going to about 9 o'clock to set up. Doors open at 10:15. VJ and Farley and Bach will be out there kicking things off at 10 to noon. We'll have all of our shows until 6 p.m. Giveaways at the top of every hour from noon to 5, and then again, the first 64.
Get there early.
Please. If you have a chance to get there early, you need to get there because there will be a line out the door. There's always a line out the door for ping pong balls and getting tables set up to watch the action. Which first game 11:15, Michigan State, Mississippi State in the 8-9 matchup there. But great food, great beer. It's a fun time today and tomorrow at Buffalo Wings and Rings. We're looking forward to that.
Jake, first of all, I was listening to your Jake's Take. Is that what you call it?
Jake's Take today, yeah.
I love that, man, to where getting your kids involved. At first, I thought you were going to say something like, like just real, sentimental, heart, gut-wrenching and heartwarming. Haven't filled out a bracket. Yeah, but you know what, though? It is, because I can still see my boys, Aiden and Keenan, when they were little.
Okay.
We'd go to my home office, and we'd print out the brackets.
See?
And I'm talking about when they were like, 5 and 6 and 7 years old. And the thing was funny, Keenan, when his team would lose, he would try to erase the team and put the team that won.
I saw that. He said, son, the bracket is what the bracket is.
Yeah,
we don't
man.
change.
Little AD would call him out, being the attorney.
You can't do that.
Even as he goes, that's not fair. The team that you pick is the team that you pick. So those are.
How did you respond to that moment?
Dude, I just laughed. I just laughed. I was like, yeah, Keno. I said, Keenan, you can't change the team. That's the whole purpose of the bracket. You have to choose a team that you think is going to win. He goes, but their mascot looks better. I'm like, well, you should have chose that mascot then, man. So, but it's family fun. Those memories you won't forget, whether it's your kids, your buddies, or your golf buddies. It's just a good time, man. It really is. It's something everybody can take part in.
Yes.
Even with the Masters you mentioned, some people just don't like golf.
Right.
You know, they don't understand it. They don't like what you get. Basketball, if nothing else, but for the mascots, you know, and just all
there's something for everyone to like. Yeah.
Absolutely. The pageantry of it with a kiss, you know, Rafferty. I mean, this one
Any
shining
game with Bill
moment.
Raftery is a dream.
Oh, man. Okay, Jake, let me ask you this.
Onions.
Well, yeah, onions. Was it weird for you, as it was for me, watching Nebraska play in front of, Grant Hill?
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I saw the stat, and it just still blows my mind. And I know things have changed over the years, but that was Nebraska's game against Illinois on Saturday on CBS. Was the first time Nebraska men's basketball had been on CBS since 2002.
Are you serious?
Now, there's a chance that, Bill Raftery bounces around. He's not tied to CBS. He's on Fox. He does stuff for, like, the Big East Network.
Right.
He does a lot of stuff with FS1.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's called games for Nebraska since then. I know for sure that he was on the call when I'm dating myself here, AD, but when Alex March and Nebraska beat James Harden and Arizona State. Now, I was at the game, so I wasn't able to watch Raft in the call. I know Raftery was doing that call from the Vandy Center when Nebraska beat James Harden.
Yep.
And March was there.
I remember that game.
So I know that he was on the call for that, but he has probably called several games that over the years that I'm forgetting about, with maybe Gus Johnson on a BTN game early on.
Gus definitely has, yeah.
But, Bill Raftery, dude, I love that man.
He is
if he was my grandpa, I love my grandpa. If I had another grandpa, though, on top of that,
Rafferty.
I want to be Bill Raftery. Just imagine being able to hang out with that guy.
You imagine the number of games that he has called, the things he has witnessed on the hardwood is pretty remarkable. And the thing about it is, I would say, me being 50, Jake, you're what, 32 years old. Here's the reality. Those guys aren't getting any younger.
I know.
You look at Vital fighting for his vitality. No pun intended.
Yeah.
You look at the guys like a Rafferty that is getting up there in age. And so calls the Masters all the time. Jim Nance.
He's getting
Jim Nance ain't getting no younger either.
He is.
So we're really looking at some icons in the industry that we better appreciate these next couple years.
So Bill Raftery, on that note, I could talk about him all day because he's just an icon to me. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about him. If there is a broadcaster that is beloved by everyone, that there's no one that says, I hate that guy, it's him. Jim Nance gets his doubters. He gets his people that don't like him. Everybody, even Kevin Harlan, which is hard to hate to Kevin Harlan.
Yeah.
He's probably getting close to Raftery territory. No one dislikes him. But I'm saying for as long as Raftery's been around, no one talks bad about him. He's brilliant. He's hilarious. And you just want to give him a hug. Hug the guy.
Am I going too far by saying that he's possibly the Keith Jackson of our age for basketball?
I think you're right. Yeah, he's not a play-by-play guy, but he's color.
Yeah.
But when he's on the broadcast, you say crank it. Sometimes you say, I want to listen to the radio broadcast, and I love Pavelka. I love to do it all the time. But if Rafter's in the call, I got to listen to Raft.
He is. He's literally a giant in the industry.
Yes,
he's a giant.
So I'm not sure what games he's calling today. It'd be amazing if he called Nebraska game. I don't think he's on the call for the Huskers, but. Huskers at 5:50 tomorrow night. We'll look forward to preview that tomorrow. But again, today, Wings and Rings, stop on by. 10 to 6, doors open at 10:15. And by the way, if you're like AD, he had Josh here during the break trying to get in the ticket bracket. The bracket contest is open. And I'm going to give you the simplest way to enter this. It's through ESPN. If you are active on Twitter or Facebook, you have either of those, just follow the ticket or go to our pages at 937 The Ticket on Twitter, just 937 The Ticket on Facebook. It's pinned to the top. We have it pinned to the top of the pages. So please, if you want in our bracket challenge, there is no cost as always. There's great prizes from Wings and Rings. Other sponsors have gift cards thrown in here. If you want to be part of that, you got to enter before 11 o'clock. So don't delay any longer. AD is trying to get in right now.
I'm in there now. Yeah, I'm making a few changes, a few modifications to some of these scores.
I decided when I did my bracket last night, I hated it, and I didn't change it. I said, I hate this bracket.
And it's probably going to be one of the best.
No, I'll tell you right now. I'm not going to give you. I'll give you my final four. That's all I got for you. And you can laugh all you want. Okay.
Who's your final four?
And I hate every team in the final four they have. So I chose them. My final four is I hate to have UConn. It's too predictable. I said, why would you do that? I hate predictable. I hate that. UConn. I believe I have Baylor in the final four.
Okay.
Beating New Mexico to get there.
Okay.
And the Elite Eight. And I don't even like this Baylor team either. And then I have 2 6 seeds making it on the other side. I've got Texas Tech to the Final Four, actually playing in the finals against UConn. And I have South Carolina in the Midwest bracket. 2 6 seeds, a 1 and a 3, and I hate all of those picks. I told people at the AD that last year of like about 350 people in our ticket won. I was like 340. I was almost dead last. Which I also said, hey, I picked Nebraska to the Elite Eight this year too. I can't help myself.
I've got like 8 brackets, if not more.
I just do one
from different division, different league. You know, my golf buddies, some of my fraternity brothers, some of my Husker brothers. So I've got quite a few out there. But you know, here's the thing: our brackets may not be correct, but one thing we know is going to be correct, man. It's going to be memorable.
Yes,
it is going to be memorable as it always is.
I look forward to it. If come on by Wings and Rings. By the way, one more shout out to 1890 for sponsoring me and strictly to go down to Memphis and Austin, going out to Corvallis. Tournament coverage is sponsored by the Nebraska's NIL Collective, the 1890 Initiative, which reminds you 100% of your NIL contributions go through 1890 go to Nebraska student athletes. So thank you to that, and thank you for sponsoring our coverage. We'll do the best we can to provide post game, pregame videos, and more. Pictures from the broadcast from the game. So again, thanks to 1890, and join us today. Wings and Rings 10
Get there early.
to 6. Doors open 10:15. It's going to be a great time. I cannot wait for March Madness. That is it for me. The Drive is next with AD, Raf, and Amon Green. I will talk to you tomorrow morning from Memphis, Tennessee. We will see you then.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but